there's one more practice on this question asking that we want to offer, and that is just this willingness to hold on to a question. I was invited by, I think it was when I was leaving Oracle, my friend Dinesh said, Liz, what's a question that you're holding right now? And I was really struck by that. And my question was, I said, well, honestly, I'm leaving an environment where I've built up a lot of knowledge and a reputation, and I'm kind of gotten good at what I do, and I'm going out to do something new. I said, my question is like, how does what I know, how is that going to get in the way of what I don't know but need to learn? And it turned out to be a question I thought about for a while. And it was actually a question I wrote a book about, wrote the book Rookie Smarts based on this pondering. Sometimes the answers don't come right away. We have to hold on to questions. And Sean, I wanted to tell you about an experience I had many years ago. We had bought this, we live in this, housing is pretty expensive, here. And so we bought this kind of really dumpy fixer-upper house, and we kind of fixed up the downstairs, and then we were trying to build an upstairs on. We've got a growing family, and so we're building this upstairs on. We approve all the blueprints. A construction project is underway, and I come to make a visit. I'm coming, we had to move out of the house. I'm coming to check on progress, and I go to walk up the upstairs, which is being built, and there's a 4x4 post from the stairs, all the way up to the ceiling. And I looked at that post, and I said, well, when are you going to take that down? And Keith, the contractor, said, oh, that's structural support. And I'm like, so there's just a post that's going to go right up, where the stair turns, just from the floor to the ceiling? And he says, yes. And he goes, it was on the blueprint. And, on the blueprint, it's about this big, this little tiny box. And of course, we didn't see that. And I really reacted to this because I'm like, Keith, it very much my house is going to look like a saloon at best and like a strip joint at worst. I'm like, what is this floor to ceiling pole doing in my house? And I'm like, we cannot have this. This is not the look I'm going for. And he said, it's structural support. There's nothing we can do. And I'm like, Keith, what do we need to do to re-engineer things so that I don't have a saloon pole, in my house? And he says, I don't know. And I kept coming back every day to just check on progress. And every day I would say, Keith, have you figured out a way to get rid of the pole? And he'd say, no, I can't. But I'm thinking about it. Every single day I asked him this question. It became a running joke. And one day I came, so maybe we're into this a week or two, and I said, Keith, have you got any ideas on how we can get rid of the pole? And one day I walk in, I don't even ask the question, and he is all smiles. And he's like, Liz, I figured out a way. And he's like, let me show you what we can do. We can run a joist here. And so if you ever come to my house, you'll see that there's this kind of wacky little turn in our stairwell. But I was so happy and so proud. It was about holding on to a question, because I'm like, I know he can solve this problem.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to keep asking.
Yeah. And this is a much more benevolent way than maybe trying to emulate a Steve Jobs or somebody who gets and yells at everybody and tells everybody that they're not doing good enough thinking and they need to bring their A ideas, not their B ideas. There's the patience in this, but I think that there is a place to be able to just continue with the challenge, to hold the question and continue to ask the question over time, to give people a chance to be able to work with it, think about it, know that it's important to you, and give them a little bit of room to sort that out.
And I think the key principle there is it gives people time to think.
Yeah.
Because under pressure, he had a plan, and I was asking him to change his plan, but I just knew, I know he can find an answer to this, but he just needs time to think. And he said, every day on my way into the jobs, I was thinking about, how do we re-engineer this?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.